Welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Traitors UK Season 3, Week 2, or Episodes 4 through to 6. Now, Chris, where would you like to start today?
Well, Dave, it is carried on at the same pace. I must admit, I'm not a fan of a lot of the activities. I just want to sort of watch the start of the episode, see who's been booted out, and then watch the end when it all kicks off. However, you do need them games because, as we always say, someone throws someone a side eye, or someone says a certain thing, or someone hesitates or roll their eyes, and that's like the end of them. So I think it's still the Traitors. It's still great. And obviously at the start of episode 4, they did the right thing, the Traitors. They kicked out Minah, didn't they? Because Armani had gone. It's a sister. They were like, we know that she's a faithful, because obviously they're there. She could be a threat because we've got rid of a sister, so let's get rid of her. And that's exactly what they did. And to be honest, we'd said it at the end of the last episode, and I think that was probably the right decision going into the new week, because then it just gets rid of that baggage, really.
Yeah, and also the fact that there's two ways the Traitors can win, isn't there? There's banishing people, or the group banishes people, and then they can murder someone. So I think what I like about it is just that game of, well, there's no point murdering someone who you think is going to get banished anyway. So the fact that, I watched the, what is it they call Traitors Uncloaked, the show after.
Yeah.
And, she was on that as well with her sister. I still don't think she was particularly impressed, Armani, that she basically threw her under the bus. But Minah, the problem for Armani was, as soon as she said she's got her doubts, that's it. Armani was fucked, wasn't she?
Yeah.
But Armani was fucked, finds out she's a traitor, but Minah is the most untouchable faithful then there is going. So no one's going to banish Minah. So definitely the right choice to murder her.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, again, Dave, I've got to say, this week, 3 episodes, and I know we're talking as if it's 6, 7 episodes. It's 3 episodes, but I don't know how fucking Linda stayed in because we get Alexandra and Fozia who come in, part of this game, don't they? And they're all doing these things. Fozia, from the start, she's on to Linda, isn't she? Yeah. She's like, there is something off here. Nobody's listening to me. Anything Linda's done because of this, and we both said this, didn't we, the first episode about the age thing, she's the grandmother, the mother of the house and everything and all this stuff. But no one's like, no, there's something going on here. Yeah, there's something going on here. And she's been on her for the start. But as it's gone on, Dave, and I know there's a lot of support for Linda, I think she's a bit of a plant in some respects. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because it's creating a little bit of drama, but she's an awful contestant. I don't think she's ever watched The Traitors, to be honest, but she's still here.
There's something weird going on. Now, I don't think she is a plant, but the thing is, we're watching an edited show, and they're obviously filming from multiple camera angles, and then we get to see, the best camera angles that the producers want to show us. They want to tell that story. And all we can see is Linda just being a terrible traitor and falling her way forward through the episodes.
Yeah.
And we're like, how is no one, or everyone, how is everyone not turning around and going, traitor? Linda, you're such a traitor. It's so obvious. She's somehow getting away with it. People you say about Fozia, and we went through that whole, actually that was the thing, wasn't it? You had the whole 3 people who disappeared on the trains. They came back in a different way, and the one lad, the tall lad from Yorkshire, whose appeal, his sales pitch was that he's a big lad, he's tall.
Also the gym. What the fuck is that, honestly?
The other two gave great pitches. Alexander was like, yeah, I'm a British diplomat. Part of that was managing conflict. And Fawzia was, reminding everyone that she was first up, to take one for the team. And now they can repay her. And so I thought they gave great sales pitches, and the tall lad, he's just got nothing. So he was genuinely booted off. And I was thinking, oh, maybe he'll turn up in a later game. But no, he was on the uncloaked thing as well. So he's definitely out of the game. So it's not so much that predictable, they go out and then they're definitely going to come back in. But all of the people who appear on like Uncloaked, they're like, oh, Linda. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, yeah. We'll speak about Ryan, I'm sure, but Ryan's like, oh, shit, Linda. Oh, she's playing a great game. Watching it like, that makes no sense. Everything she does is terrible. Even in this latest episode 6, with the crying because Liv had been sent out. It was so bad. And she still survives another round table somehow. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's... there's this blindness. Maybe is it an ageism thing that's working in her favor, that people think, oh, she's just doddering her way through the game, but she's harmless to anyone. I mean, the fucking priest took more heat than Linda. Jake he's onto her, but he just hasn't got anyone else rallied in. He hasn't sold anyone else on the idea, really. So yeah, Linda, what a fucking legend. Worst traitor going, but still is in there halfway through.
Yeah, and she's playing an okay game, but I think what I find bizarre, and you're right, is as soon as people get a bit of a sniff that there's something going on with Linda, right? And, I know I'm jumping and we're jumping all over the place because she's been quite an interesting character to sort of and we need characters like Linda, let's be honest, Dave. If we didn't, we'd be absolutely knackered. But Elsie's come in, laid it on, absolutely called Linda exactly what she is. Yeah. And then when we get to the round table, somebody just comes up with a random theory on somebody that I don't know about you, but nobody that I was expecting. And then they just get booted out. And I was like in episode 4, Kasim just gets fucking absolutely thrown under the bus. It's the 5th one when he gets banished. But you're like, where the fuck has that come from? Like, why have you just turned on him? And then the whole table literally picks him. And I'm like, Linda sat there with her fake tears doing that classic, that meme where they do tears looking to see. I'm doing it now with my fingers, so you can't see, but looking behind her, like a finger as if to say, is anybody seeing if I'm crying? Because she is just, it's bizarre, isn't it? And it is the game. And the good thing is, it doesn't matter like that guy saying a fucking bench press 200 pound or whatever bollocks he was saying. That means nothing in the Traitors. You've got to have a bit of noggin about you, a bit of luck and a bit of noggin, haven't you? And I think, as the week gone on with Linda, it's just been, I get frustrated because I'm like, she's got to be a fucking plant the way she's talking. The reverend, like you say, she ends up saying I'm an ordained priest and then says, well, yeah, I swear on God and all this. And everyone's like, oh, it's a bit weird. And then she tells them all. But like quite a few of them were like, I'm not fucking bothered really. Like, why have you told us? But I think it was more for her conscience. But then you're like, well, why are you coming on a show then where you've got to be deceptive if you're a person of God? It's fucking the morals at times.
What an absolute top-notch response. She said, what self-respecting murder mystery game doesn't have a priest in it? It's like, yeah, fair play. That was a really good response. But you mentioned about Kaz there. I mean, he'd taken it pretty much since they'd been in the castle, really. We had said last week about the whole Harold Shipman thing. It's like people's attitude. So when he eventually went, I loved his exit speech, I've got to say, because he was really teasing them. He was laying it up. He was saying that who'd have thought I'd have been caught out with that twinkle in the eye. And, on the first day, I got chosen to be, and everyone's on the edge of their seat. Everyone's waiting for him to say, everyone's waiting to jump up in the air. a faithful. He was so sort of gracious about it, but you could tell inside he was seething. And I did feel quite bad for him. He was saying, I can't play the game because no one will talk to me. Because everyone thinks I'm a traitor. So, yeah, I did feel bad. But then I saw it. I thought, yeah, fair dues. You got him at the end there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think like with him and the way he did it, I sort of want, and I know we've seen it, but I want someone to have a go at someone properly, like a proper go. And I did think Kazim was going to have a go because that guy was it Ryan who come out with his fucking rubbish him? If he keeps saying, so is it Ryan who keeps one
Ryan's
of the lads?
The one saying, with the 1990s like Gary Neville curtains.
Oh no, it's not. He's the one who got.
There's the English teacher, isn't there?
I think it's the English teacher, and he keeps coming up with theories, doesn't he? And he's like, every time he's wrong. He even took a step back. Then he going, well, I don't fucking know. Actually, I think I need to shut my mouth, sort of thing.
Oh, do you mean Dan? Do you mean the Scouse one?
Oh, you know what? I should have known that. Yeah, he's a Scouser, Dave. Yeah, it's a Scouser. Not that I'm being regional or anything. But yeah, Dan's the one who's come with a few theories and been like adamant anti that. He's like, yeah, I know who's a traitor here. And he's been way off, hasn't he? Absolutely way off. I think,
won't be any more.
Well, yeah, that's true, Dave. That's true. It was Leon, wasn't it? Leon had started about Tyler, wasn't it, in that episode 5. And he was like, yeah. I was like, where the fuck has this come from? And he went, Tyler, yeah, it's you. Yeah, and I'm like, Linda's going to get away with this, you fuckers. She's going to get away. Honestly, it's so fucking frustrating, these people.
Well, so episode 5 was when Tyler went. And that, for me, was expert gameplay by Minah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, Minah, brilliant.
Yeah, the heat had been on Freddie. And Freddie and Minah were having that chat. And it was Minah who used the term clique. So she was talking about, having these 4 with the clique and everything. Leon was just part of that. And Tyler was part of that, of course. And at the table, though, Freddie, oh no, it was even before that, wasn't it? Because they got into a bit of a heated debate about the clique, and Freddie was just saying, well, it seems to be coming from you lot, so I think one of you must be a traitor because I know I'm a faithful. And then with Leon and what's the soldier's name?
Leanne, is it?
Is it Leanne? I think so. So Leon and Leanne are like so offended by the idea that they're in this clique. Like they suddenly think, oh, well, it must be Tyler. And so all this stuff. And then Dan as well was, for some reason, was convinced it was Tyler. So Tyler going into that round table was just not expecting anything. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm confident. Chips on gravy on my chips and all that. So it was so amazing to see. And and was it Liv who was like absolutely in tears at the because she knows he's a faithful, and that was all interesting. But Chris, what did you reckon to Anna? So
yeah,
from last week there was a bit of suspicion about her, wasn't there? And then they'd chosen to recruit, and it looks like, they'd asked Anna, and then she knew she was being set up as a patsy. She knew from what happened with, I think it was Andrew. Remember the big guy from last season?
Yeah.
So she knew she was being set up, but then chose not to say anything at the breakfast table.
Well, I think that's genius, to be honest, because I was expecting full guns blazing, put whoever the traitors are, obviously we know it's Minah and Linda, put them like on the back foot. But then if you do that, that's going to get the backup as well. And they're going to go, right, we need to get rid of her. Yeah, exactly. So I think she's playing a great game because, she's upset. And I do think what gets me, and it must be a different environment when you're there, but people genuinely worry about the morals when they're doing these shows, don't they? Like, they really do.
Not Dan, no.
No, not Dan. But they do, don't they? Because they're like, she was really upset going, I don't want to be a traitor and all this. And she's like really getting upset. And when obviously it was Claudia came in the room, I did think it was going to be Anna. And when she didn't, I was like, oh, how's this going to happen? And she said straight away, they did the talking head thing. And she's like, I'm gone, I'm gone. But by not saying something, it gives the traitors being a little bit comfortable because they think, well, she knows if she brings this up, we're going to go for her. So as long as she never brings this up in a discussion, or she might confide in one person, she can't confide in anyone because you don't know who's a traitor. Then I think it's a great bit of play on both parts because Minah, for me, has been the player of the season. We're halfway through, and however she goes to the end, but she, off the back of that, the fucking crying she was doing in episode 5 was outstanding. I mean, I know we'll talk about Linda again, but Minah, like, really, there was tears every time there's a round table. I don't know what it is. Now, whether it's just nerves or whatever, but she's literally just fucking, the tears just come straight away. And it's so convincing. I'm like, honestly, I think she's been one of the best people we've seen on the Traitors so far anyway, because we're only halfway through. It could all go tits up. But I think the way Linda's playing it is being exposed. But Minah, nobody has mentioned her at all with any suspicion, have they? So at the moment, she's playing an absolute blinder.
Yeah, and she seemed to be pretty much in control of everything. And the only thing that threw it was this last episode, wasn't it? Because she had developed this sort of relationship, this closeness with Dan. And Dan was just starting to put the puzzle together. He was like, why am I never discussed or anything? You know, and even on the train at the start in episode 1, you know, he was like, I'm in this for myself. You know, he wound me up in quite a few of the episodes, I have to say, Chris, because he's so brash, you know, and upfront about, I'm just in this for me. This isn't a team game. But I kind of respect it as well. He's just saying what everyone else is thinking. But outwardly, everyone's like, oh, no, this should be a team game. We're in it for the team. What fucking team? You don't know who's a traitor and who's not a traitor. And you're ultimately on this show to win the money for yourself. If there's someone else there, fine. But then you'd have to split the money as well. So Dan's the only one who, just says it, and maybe that's the autism bit. He's just saying, I'm just here for me and I'm doing it for myself. But he was starting to wonder, maybe because I'm not getting any heat, maybe it's someone I'm close to. So maybe it's Minah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he never really had the opportunity because where he fucked up really was that molasses game where Chris, what do you reckon to that? Because I found it weird because Anna was the first one who got, the old molasses and they poured it all over her head. It was in her hair and everything.
Yeah.
And then it was Joe. Joe is the English teacher who, again, he's a little bit brash at times as well in some of the things that he comes out with. But they just poured a little bit on his back.
We said that. We said the same. Yeah, honestly.
You pay them off or something, but they weren't consistent with how they poured the molasses over someone. But I guess tactically, Dan had decided, with Leanne, that they'll go after Minah because Minah won't suspect. He's desperate to get that shield, and Minah, because they're close to Minah, she won't suspect them. But then she asks, and then later Leanne fucking comes clean, doesn't she? It's not just about herself. She says, it was me and Dan. But then because Dan decides, in this game of deception, this molasses game, it doesn't really mean anything after the game's finished. It's not like when you're selected to be a traitor, you need to, until you're out or the game ends, you have to protect that secret. But with this one, you didn't really have to protect the secret. But because he did, that was his downfall at the table, wasn't it? Now, logically, they should be thinking, clearly, he's been very obvious about how he's in it for himself. He was desperate for the shield. If he was a traitor, he wouldn't be desperate for the shield. Yeah. But they didn't think like that. He was caught out in the lie, and that's it. He was fucked then.
But that's the thing. That's the name of the game. And it's like Minah. I'm bigging Minah up, saying like how good she is. And I think she's been excellent. And also, she's probably been excellent because a lot of people who think they're clever have just, like you said about Dan, they fucked up, haven't they? And royally fucked up where it's like, you've just ruined your chances. Even though we know you're a faithful, you've bollocksed it up. And that's like, and just going slightly back to Tyler, when Tyler got like voted off, and then Livy went fucking crazy, didn't she? She'd already had a go at Freddie early in the episode about the cleat thing. Then it was like, she really, I mean, it looked like there was, I mean, I don't know if there was a relationship between them because the way he kissed her was like, that's very affectionate. So whether they were a bit of a couple, there's a bit of a relationship. But again, I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait for episode 6. But then it was like, nah, Traitors went, fuck that, she's out. And they got rid of her straight away. And I was like, fuck. And she was a good contestant. However, she was quite emotional and wore a heart on her sleeve. Even Freddie did not get on. And Freddie's, like, when he was chatting to her, Freddie's description of things were brilliant because they made no fucking sense to me, Deb. I don't know what he was talking about. I know he's a young kid, and I think he was trying to come across, and he was saying like he's an only child brought with his mum and all this, and he's glad to be with people, and he's still there. But yeah, that situation with Livy was very interesting because at the time, I think she was quite a trusted member of like the cast. But then as soon as she sort of supported Tyler, you could see me and Linda like, yeah, we need to get rid of her. You know what I mean? And then she was gone straight away. So I genuinely thought he was going to kick off. And then when she was gone, I was like, sometimes it sort of deflates the drama that I want because I'm like, no, don't leave her in. We need her in for at least another episode. But again, I do think there was a bit of a lull halfway through episode 5, but from there to the end of episode 6, I really enjoyed it this week. I really did. It's just the games, like that card game, fucking Chase the Ace they were playing. You know, like
honestly, I loved it. You know, the reason I loved it was not for the cards. I mean, really simple game, right? You've got to end up with the life or the sunny card or whatever. It's all done like a pagan ritual. You know, they've got their masks on and everything. The thing is, me and Max were absolutely crying laughing because we were saying about Alexander, he has this Michael Fassbender look like about him.
Yes,
you know,
he does. Yeah,
all Magneto, and he's a good-looking bloke, isn't he? He's got the accents. You know, he's an ex-British diplomat, and he's talked the talk brilliantly. Put him in that game, he was fucking shocking. He was rocking back and forth. He's got the big, wide saucer eyes, like he's fucking shitting himself. And then when he gets the card that's going to set him free, short of punch in the air, the guy had zero poker face. And I thought, well, that's why you're a fucking ex-diplomat, you know, because all of these negotiations, you were obviously fucking shitting them. Honestly, up until that game, I thought, oh, this guy's going to be good. You know, he's going to be great at reading people, at negotiating, you know, and all this stuff. But that card game was just brilliant because he had zero poker face. I just thought it was great. And Anna got out as well, didn't she? And so you're just left with Forzia and Leon now. And we'll find out in the next episode who goes there.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting. I think if he's not down to the Traitors, then Forzia should stay because I've really enjoyed the snooping. That everything she said, he's on the money. He's absolutely on the money. It's like, no. There's something going on here with Linda. I've said it before. I just can't wait for like the next episode. And I do think, looking at who we've got left, like I say, you've got Alex, you've got Forzia at the moment, you've got Lisa, Freddie, you've got Minah, Linda, Leanne. Leanne's a bit of a dark horse. Anna, and then Charlotte. And we've got a few more: Jake, Leon, Francesca, Joe, and that. So we've got a few there. But I do think Leanne's the one where. I said it last week, you know, I'm a nail technician. You know, you can see she's blonde, she's got the look, covered in makeup and that, and so it all play into it. But then it's like she's in the army. Now, I don't know why you would not say you're in the army. There's obviously a reason behind it, just like there is with Charlotte doing the Welsh accent, which still doesn't sound Welsh, but we're going with it for the rest of the show.
I don't understand the tactic. I mean, fair play to her. I don't understand how you do it because these are long days. You know, you're up at breakfast, you're doing the challenges, you're getting the grilling at the round tables. You know, you're having a few drinks after. It must go on quite late because the traitors have to meet up. You know, you're waiting to find out if you're going to be murdered or whatever. So these are long days to keep up a Welsh accent. And I kind of want her to go out and see her interviewed to find out, well, did that actually work out for you? But I guess that depends how far she goes through. But I just don't think the Welsh accent has done anything for the gameplay whatsoever.
It sounds like the sort of harebrained scheme I'd come up with a review and say, right, Dave,
was it Chip Daniels?
Chip Daniels, you said it last week, isn't it? It's like, what is the benefit of you doing this accent? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I really
trusting, innit? Everyone trusts the Welsh.
Well, here's one for you then, Dave. So obviously we're going into week 3. We're halfway through. Do you think we'll lose any of the traitors? And also, who do you think, if we don't, who do you think they'll recruit and actually come over to the traitors?
Oh, so I mean, Linda, she's done brilliant, hasn't she? To get to the halfway point, she's done great. But I just don't think she just can't keep falling forward. I don't think she's got to get called out. I still think Jake needs to be a bit more vocal with other people, and just give his reasons. The fact that she gave that crying performance and a marvelous bit of editing where everyone is just looking at her with a puzzled expression. Now, I don't know, maybe it was to Linda crying, or maybe it was something else and they just edited it together to make it look like that. But it was just so ridiculous. It was such an over-the-top performance out of nowhere, and people called it out. It's like, why is she crying? They weren't even that close. So Linda's got to go. I think there is very much a female theme within the Traitors, isn't there? And it was the actual Welsh woman, wasn't it, who said she felt like the Traitors could be all women. So I'm thinking Leanne might be someone. Yes. I mean, she can't pick Lisa. Freddie, I mean, basically almost everyone, every faithful who's gone out is convinced it's Freddie. So, for the last 3 episodes or so, Anna has already rejected it, so she's off the table. I think, well, Charlotte's too trusting, clearly, through being Welsh, so she'd reject being a traitor. Jake as well. Actually, Jake, that might be an interesting one, mightn't it? Because given how much heat he's putting on to Linda, actually, if you recruited him, you might be able to silence him. Maybe that'll be the way they do it. But no, I think Linda will go. I think my bet's going to be on Charlotte. I think. Charlotte. Leanne. Sorry. What about you? Well,
I'm with you on Leanne. I think she'd be ideal. Obviously, you got Bozier as well, which, because of the snooping, there's 2 ways I'd look at it. If you wanted to use her as a sort of, like you said, a bit like a Patsy sort of thing, you'd have her or Freddie, because I think Freddie would be useless as a traitor. He'd absolutely, because he's playing it now as if he's a traitor, and he isn't. And if he becomes a traitor, I think if they needed to sort of get rid of him as a bit of collateral damage, you put him as a traitor Monday, Tuesday. He's gone. It saves Linda. If Linda's thinking about the game, it takes a bit of heat off her, because I just think Freddie would fall apart completely. But ultimately, I think Leanne would be the one. I'm with you, Dave. I think there's just something about her and this whole army thing. I don't know what the benefit is. However, it shows that she's happy to play the game, whereas other people want to, like, a bit like a popularity contest, isn't it? Like Anna. I'm not going because of my morals. Well, do you not want the fucking $100,000 or wwhatever you're going to win at the end of it? That's the whole point of the game, isn't it? You don't get anything for coming second in this. So you've got to play the game. And as much as, like, we as we get older, you get better. You're always like, nobody ever knows what you're going through and all that. You've got to be nice. So if I was going on, it goes against how I am as a person as I've got older. However, $100,000's waved in front of me, Dave. I'm doing everything I can to stay in that game. So you've got to, haven't you? That's the whole point. Why have you gone on there? If you think,
well, is Traitors, though, not getting to the levels of Love Island, but has it got to such a popularity that actually you don't have to win the $100,000? So long as you can stay on and you can get your Instagram followers and your TikTok followers, actually that could be your career.
It could, but I've not seen anybody, and I'm sure you're the same, from the Traitors have a real massive platform. The lad who won it was on loads of different shows, and he's been on, I think he was on Love Island Australia, wasn't he? Was it Harry?
The one from season one. So Harry won it last. Oh, Chris, I went back and I watched the finale again for season 2. So I don't know if you remember, but there was Harry and Molly, and the other guy who was convinced, Harry was a traitor, and Molly had written down Harry's name but changed it. But you could tell she sort of had a little bit of a thing for Harry, and so she ended up changing it. And then she says, "I'm a faithful. You best not be, you cheeky old scamp, you." He says she's a traitor. Honestly, I'd forgotten just how good it was, but it's worth going back to watch it just for that. But yeah, I think they are still in the papers and stuff. They're still doing the rounds on like talk shows and things like that. So I don't know whether they could make a career out of it, but I think it's getting to that, that level of popularity where if they wanted to, they could do that. In fact, here we go, Chris. So Harry Clarkey is his Instagram, and he's got 150,000 followers on Instagram.
He's probably got a little bit of a career then, hasn't he?
And it says, as is underneath his name, he's just got public figure. So I think there's the answer. He's not back in the army. He's doing the Z list thing.
Yeah, I think so. He has been on a few shows. Definitely been on a few shows. I've seen him. 100%. I've seen him on some shows. So yeah, maybe there is, Dave. Maybe there is, and you could be right. If they play it right and they're memorable, then yeah.
The other guy, and I can't remember his name, but the ADHD guy from season 1, he was the one who went on Love Island. It was USA, wasn't it? It wasn't Australia.
That was it. Yeah, USA. Sorry, not Australia. We didn't watch Australia, did we? You're right. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, maybe you're right, Dave. I don't know. But you need that bit of shithousery in this, don't you?
Yes.
Look, and obviously the producers do have there's a point to the different games and the way things are. And obviously this is the cast now set for the rest of the show. There's not going to be any more people coming in, I don't think. I'm with you though. I think Linda's got to go. The game's up for her. It's not going to carry on, even with the tears. The tears were magnificent. Twice she cried this week, and there wasn't one tear, and I love that. I love the fact that she stuck to it. But also, she is a retired opera singer because I've seen it. But then I'm sort of thinking, is she hiding something back? Is she going to turn around and say, well, actually, I'm a drama teacher or I'm an actress or something like that. I've been playing the game from the start. I don't know. It's like I'm expecting some sort of Dick Dastardly type reveal with Linda because there is something slightly off.
I think you might have a higher opinion of Linda than the general public. I still think she's just fumbling away through it all, and amazing for entertainment value. But yeah, I don't think she's whipping off the old Scooby-Doo mask anytime soon.
I would have got away with it. Yeah, true. Now, Dave, as we go into week 3 of The Traitor, there's also something else that starts on Monday, and I just wondered if you just happened to be maybe putting it on, or you may have come across what's happening on ITV2 this week.
I did see the advert, and you sent me an interesting Instagram reel, which caught my attention.
Steady.
So yes, is it? What are they calling it? Is it Love Island All Stars?
All Stars, yeah, All Stars. And I can't believe Ronnie's on, Dave.
Fucking Ronnie, Jesus Christ! Talk about the deadbeats. But Chris, we are going to see a return of your impression of Olivia.
Well, actually, Dave,
That Kai is so fake.
I was in Fast and Furious once, with Vin Diesel. Yeah, I was the cornerstone of the whole fucking franchise. Nice one. She's going to be even worse on this fucking series, isn't she, than she was in the last one. I mean, it showed it, didn't it, where on Olivia's series that herself, a couple of the other contestants, the guys and the girls, had been like in these intro videos where they sat at the desk, while the guys is dressed like Clark Kent. Next minute, he takes his glasses off and rips his shirt off, and there's a girl there swooning over him. And then 2 series later, they're one of the contestants. So we're going to get all that, aren't we? But I think the only thing that's really going to be interesting is Marcel and Gabby. And like Marcel's going in there, and he was the pop star. There's a massive relationship between them. And I think Marcel's had a kid to someone else and he was married or he was with someone else and they're going back in. But they were a huge couple in that series, a very popular couple. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, Olivia, I'm going to watch it one way. I just hope that Joey fucking Essex doesn't turn up because I still feel as if that's the whole point of him going into the main show. I mean, Ronnie, and then you've got Luca Bish, Dave. All the bellends that we fucking couldn't stand, they're all going in. Absolute clowns. But yeah, I'll be there Monday night. Don't you worry.
Yes. I watch Traitors, and the people a lot of the time they come across and they're quite endearing, and there's gameplay, but no real toxic bellends. But, I don't know why. So, of course, I'll be watching it. But fucking hell, hate watching it, Chris. Hate watching it.
Don't we all, David? Don't we all? But let's have a quick rundown of the things, actually. Let's go. We've got Luca Bish, India, Marcel, Elma. I don't remember Elma. Catherine, Olivia, Ronnie Vint, Dave, as I called him, Turbo Dick. He's coming back, Turbo Ronnie. Scott Thomas, he was very popular, Dave, from Series 2. I think he won it with Katie. He's one of the Thomas brothers who've been in Emmerdale and Corrie. Dave, the legend. You've got Gabby, but then we've also got one of the greatest Love Island moments ever, the dancer. Curtis is in. All right, Dave. You're right. Curtis is going in, the old legend.
He is still wringing the neck out of this fucking Love Island career. Honestly, how many shows has he been on now?
Oh, my. He did that fucking boxing one with Tommy Fury where Tommy Fury learned to dance and then he went boxing and he was pretty good. At boxing, he knocked the guy out. He was really good at it, actually. Yeah. He was actually really good. We watched it. It was like a 2-3 part.
Maura did say he was really manly. Do you remember?
Right, next fucking question. Right, so move on to Scott Thomas, 2016. So it's been 8 years for him to go. Gabby, I'm just looking at the pictures. Curtis, fucking unbelievable. Then you've got Kaz. Kaz was in it as well. He was with Josh. She's a nice cat. And then Naz as well. He wasn't in it for that long. He was in season 6, 2020. I think he was in a few episodes, wasn't he? But then the rumoured ones, Dave, Lucinda. But the legend, Dave. God, she's fucking legend.
She's in the Australian one as well.
She was Lucinda. So, but Dave, I'm not being funny. But one half of the ultimate fucking couple is going back in there, do you think? Ekin-Su. So you've got Paige.
You've mentioned about Tommy Fury and Molly May. They're obviously split up now, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, Dave, at Christmas, they were seen together, kissing.
Oh, really?
Possible reconnection. You've got Paige who was on Ekin-Su's series as well. She was the Welsh girl once. She was the paramedic. She's rumoured. Tyreek from the season 10, 23. Grace, Dave, from last year. But she was supposed to. She's just split up. Actually, she was going out with one of the footballers. Was it Ruben? She was with a footballer who's now going out with Maya Jama, I think. Ruben Diaz is now going out with Maya Jama.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So I might be someone. No, I think it was Marcus Rashford. Sorry, she was with Marcus Rashford. She's dumped him to go in Love Island. That says it all, Dave. Not only is he bobbins on the football pitch as a United fan, he's also not very good in other areas. He can't score there either. But there you go. But they're the rumoured contestants, Dave. So I'll be there front and centre. Let's see how we go with that one. But yeah, I can't wait. I just can't wait. It's just
surprised Harriet. She from Ronnie. She was with Ronnie, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She seems really fucking desperate for fame, so I'm surprised she's not popped up on that list.
What are we talking about, Dave? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You say
Anyway.
about Freddie, bringing it back to Traitors. I mean, Freddie is of that age where he could. Actually, no, they like the blokes to be more mid to late 20s, don't they? It's the girls that they prefer late teens, early 20s. But I feel sorry for Freddie on the Traitors because I think like he's 20. He's a year older than my eldest daughter, and I just think she's still a child. Like, at least, in my head, the way she behaves and everything. So when you're going up in this game against other people, and like I say, he just doesn't have the ability to convince other people that he's not a traitor. But yeah, he's a good-looking lad as well, isn't he? Soaping himself up, if you remember, in that first episode. So maybe he'll be one of those who, jettisons himself over to something like Love Island after Traitors has finished.
Oh, it's going to be good. It'll be good. And you're right, Dave. He has got the look as well, hasn't he? He's a good-looking kid. So
yeah,
let's see. But no, brilliant stuff, mate. And I'm halfway through. This show is ridiculous, but also excellent. I love it. And it's not about... It's the complete opposite of Love Island. It's not about how good you look or what six-pack you've got or what bikini you've got on. It's actually about using your noggin. So, really, really good, mate. I've thoroughly enjoyed it and a little bit refreshing as well before we get into the absolute shithouses that is reality TV. There you go. But no, big thank you to everyone. Massive thanks for all support as always. Please go up to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. You've got to come and join us over there, guys. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast. So, if you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. And a massive thank you to everyone who supports myself and Dave on this podcast, past and present. We do really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, the roll call of honour and the second one of 2025. And a big thank you to Anna, Tilly, Marcy, Stacey, Sinead, Kathleen Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Ken Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. Amazing stuff. We're halfway into Traitors, and we all know what's on the horizon. But there you
go. Amazing stuff. So thank you very much for the chat today. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.